Hello, everybody. Welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm Alex from the Sandbox. And looks like we've got some new people in the chat. Hi, Vinny. Hi, Guadalupe. Hello, Thanasi. Hi, Agnes. And hi, Clankers. Good to see a familiar face. Or name, I guess. So, let's see. We've already got some questions right off the bat here. So, Thanasi asks, what game is this? This is the game maker for the Sandbox. So we are going to be looking at creating stuff in the game maker to make your own games. Agnes says that he's been trying to download, get a download link for the game maker for a few days. You bought land and would like to try it out. When is it being made available for us to try out? So right now we're in a whitelisting process. So it's in a closed alpha. The closed alpha is for landowners, but we've got something like, well, the number I saw from a month ago was like 1,500, and we just had a pre-sale, so we're probably well over 2,000 landowners now. So we are whitelisting in stages, so that way we are not overwhelmed with tech support questions. We only have so many people who can answer those questions. So it's in closed alpha. You can apply to be whitelisted on the website, I believe. Let's take a quick look at that. It might not show up correctly for me because I should be logged in already to my, I'm already in my admin account, so it might not show up. Yeah, so I just have the download link. If you've been whitelisted, you will have a little announcement speakerphone up in the top here, which takes you through the steps of setting up your email and password to your wallet account, so that way you can log into the game maker. As far as whitelisting, because I'm already whitelisted, well, what happens if I open it incognito? Let's see. Let's go to the same page, incognito, and we'll see what that pulls up for us. So yeah, you can pre-register. And that's just your regular account setup. I believe on this play page, if you're logged in with your account where you own land, there will be an option to apply to join the whitelist for downloading the game maker. So if you don't find it there, I would say go to our Discord here, which is linked in the corner. And we've got lots of people who can help you there with trying to get that set up. Hi, Christicles411. Looking forward to seeing what's news in the Sandbox. Yeah, we've got lots of cool stuff going on. Hi, Diego. Hi, Florian. Welcome, everybody. So good to see you all here. So, news. Talking about news. Cool stuff going on. This was just announced today, this morning. The Sand token is going to be launching on Binance. So I'm going to put a link to that article in the chat. And you can check that out on our Medium page. So this is exciting. This is the start of the Sandbox token. I guess it's worth $3 million is what the total amount of sand will be worth. The Discord, let me grab the link for you. So if you go to our website, which is sandbox.game, there's a link to the Discord in the bottom right-hand corner, which will take you right to the invite, but I'll post the invite in the chat. So you can just click that link. So the sand token's being launched. There's going to be a lottery format ticket claim, so the people who win that lottery will get the first chance to buy starting August 13th. And there's going to be lots of ways to get sand. Hi, Eric. There's going to be lots of ways to get sand. You can earn it through gameplay. People in our creator fund will have the option to be paid in sand instead of a normal cash payment through PayPal. So there will be lots of different ways that you can get a hold of sand and use sand, and we want this to be a real vibrant economy using the sand token based on Ethereum to buy and sell and trade tokens, assets, land, all sorts of fun stuff, and unlock gameplay through that. So lots more information in that link that I put in the chat, so you can learn all about that. There's more articles about Sand, but this is the most up-to-date one, which will talk about some specific numbers about the launch of Sand. Yeah, I'm excited to get some Sand too. This will be my first opportunity to get in on a cryptocurrency right when it starts. So, Landbox, wow, I can't talk. Sandbox Land Presale 4, round number 1 is sold out. So that started on the 4th, and I think it's sold out. I don't know if it's sold out in the same day or if it finished early this morning. But regardless, it did go very quickly, especially given that it was a larger sale than the moon sales previously were. So you can see there's the whole map of everything that's sold in green, plus you've got people's icons for their lands set up. So you can read about how that went, posting the link to that in the chat also. Let's see, what were the numbers here? You can see like all the different purchases. I believe, yeah, total Ethereum spent was 639 Ether. That's a lot. And 4,089 DAI. DAI? I don't know if it still said DAI or what. I've never heard somebody say it out loud. So yeah, that was exciting. There are going to be more pre-sales. I don't think the next pre-sale has a date on it yet. I'm skimming through the article here, and I don't believe the next one's been announced. I think it's happening sometime in September, but it's not officially announced yet. So keep an eye on Twitter and Medium for that announcement. Contests and giveaways. Clanker's got a premium land. Cool. I was I decided not to join in this one. I'll probably join in the next one. It's just been a busy week for me, and I didn't feel like diving into all that. So I might try to pick up a premium one myself in the next pre-sale. Those dragons look pretty cool. Thanks for signing up, Thanasi. Glad you're on board. So this says open, but it's actually closed. Voting. You got the bloodless dragon. Oh, the bone one. That one looks real cool. Oh, it doesn't have the... Can I see them still? Let's see. I don't think it'll let me see it through here. So, let me try hopping over to Twitter because they showed the winners there. We did look at what they... I'm pretty sure the 3 that we showed last week were what the winners ended up being in the end there. Let me pull that up. Let's go to the Sandbox Twitter. And let's see. All this stuff about sand. I'm pretty sure it was posted on Twitter. August 3rd. Maybe I skipped it. Well, I don't see it right now. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the top 3 that we showed on Saturday. Ended up being the winners for the giant contest. It was that glowing guy. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't remember what the names were off the top of my head, but congratulations to the winners on that. I'm pretty sure somewhere on Twitter it shows who the winners were. In the VoxEdit account? Oh, on Twitter on the VoxEdit account. Well, let's go to... pull that back over. Hi, Gatto. Good to see you here. to VoxEdit. Hi, TTV Blood Mask. How are you doing today? Let's see, VoxEdit. All right, good call on the VoxEdit Twitter, because that makes more sense because it's officially a VoxEdit contest. Here we go. Those are the guys I was trying to talk about. So we've got, it's too small for me to see what the icons are. Plus, it doesn't say the whole names for them. I think that's Remigio. I have the King of the Abyss, this merman kind of character. Is that Clankersh? Clankersh is here, right? Clankersh, did you do the Labyrinth Minotaur? I don't remember. Somebody with a C name there. And then the epic. Can I make this bigger? No, it just pauses and unpauses it. I can't make it bigger. And then we've got this great glowing one. Yes, Blood Mask, I remember your name. So what else is going on here? Yes, Remigio, you're one of the winners. So each one of those people won a land. Okay, I thought that was you, Clankersh. So congratulations to both of you, and I'm sorry I couldn't tell who the name was on the other one, and that is a lot of emojis. Do I like Fortnite? I haven't actually really played Fortnite. I tried the Fortnite mobile, and my phone did not like it at all. It crashed about halfway through a game, and I couldn't join back in. I was always more of a PUBG guy, and I've been playing COD Mobile a lot. That's kind of my jam. Hey, if you qualify for the COD Mobile tournament, hit me up because I need a team. I don't really have any friends that play it, and I qualified for the tournament, but you need to be in a team of like 5 people, and I don't have anybody to play with, so I have qualified, and that's it. So yeah, send me a message on Discord if you're ranked in COD Mobile. So what else was there? Oh, 0.2 is coming out very, very soon. If you are, let me check one thing. Let's see. It's already getting warm in here. I'm just trying to sweat a little bit. It's like 95 degrees outside. So if you are whitelisted for the Game Maker, you should be able to download 0.2 now. Let's see what the download says. Yep, 0.2. The download is now available if you are whitelisted. So we are going to take a look at 0.2 today in just a minute here after we get the giveaway started. And I'm going to show you the demo, which shows the new quest features. And if you are whitelisted, make sure to grab that 0.2 version and you can start playing around with that. There will be new tutorials coming out very soon that will go through what you can do with 0.2 to make the quests. Hi, Europe. Clanker says, do you know when prizes are being given out? Do you mean the land prizes for winning? Those are kind of given out incrementally because we have to distribute them to the wallets, and it's not super complicated process, I don't think. I don't really know what goes on behind the scenes to do that. You just have to make sure to message, I believe it's Nathan or Nick, who runs the contests. Make sure that you give him your Ethereum wallet address, and he communicates that to whoever takes care of distributing the land. And Chris Weller, oh, hi Chris, aka Necrobomicon. Yes, definitely download that 0.2 version. It's a lot of fun. Hi Ivor, welcome from Bolivia. So let's go ahead and jump into GameMaker 0.2. Let me try to make sure I open up the right version because I've got like 4 shortcuts. The difficulty working with in the development side of things is I've got like a production version, a dev version, a release version, and I've got like multiple shortcuts for the same program that all look the same, and I just try to remember to grab the right one. So Something very important, if you're working in the game maker, there's this delete cache button now. So where we used to have to manually go to that folder that's hidden away, we can now clear the cache. It might take a minute for it to re-download everything, but if you've updated assets on the marketplace, if you made something and you made some changes to it and re-uploaded it, deleting the cache will dump the old version from your inventory so it downloads the new update. And I did not start the giveaway yet, so I need to do that. So make sure you go to twitch.tv/the Sandbox game. If you would like to join the giveaway, we are giving away a sand fountain. And you just type in !fountain in the Twitch chat, and that will enter your name up in the top here for the giveaway. So I can see that Arup is already up there. If you don't see your name up there, just make sure you're on that twitch.tv link, and that will allow you to enter the competition. Oh, now Gatto's really here on Twitch. All right, I see those names filling up. So what we're looking at here is we're in the release version of the Sandbox Game Maker 0.2 alpha, and there's a bunch of new stuff in this version. We looked at it a little bit a couple weeks ago, and it's a lot better now. So there's all this new stuff in rules for the objectives, and there's some new components, some tweaks to behaviors, a few different updates to the system, and there's now a new settings button over here, which lets you control your mouse sensitivity and view the control list. We've got a new combat mode that allows you to have combo attacks and dodge rolls. There's a new attack behavior for enemies where they do combo attacks also. So there's a lot of cool stuff that's happened, and we're just going to start by playing it. And we're going to play through the quests. And you can see we've got this cool new view when you start. So basically when you, once this is all working online in the map, when you exit a map on a certain side, you will spawn at the designated spawn point in the next map over. So this way you can control the flow of your game. You can tell people to start the game from a specific place, and then when they go to leave your map, northwest, east, or south, they will go to the next map over and start at that spawn point for that map. And that way people can organically travel through the world and explore different areas that they haven't been to before. And then certain the premium lands and lands near hubs will have the ability to take portals to go to specific, to teleport out to other parts of the game map. So you don't have to slowly travel land to land to land to land to get all the way to the other side. You'll be able to teleport there a lot more quickly. So I need to quit popping into the mic. So here we are. We've got some sound effects. I don't know how well you can hear that. I have the volume down a little bit low. So we've got jumping animations. We've got the particle effects. We've got the sounds of the steps. And then we've got some sword swishing noises. So, some cool new stuff going on there. The first one we're gonna do, so there is kind of a quirk right now, is that objectives that use timers, and yeah, it does get a lot louder if you the audio is tied to the camera, so if I move the camera down here, it's a lot louder than if I have it up here. So there's still quirks to work out with that to make the audio model, the audio acoustic model work quite right. So the quirk right now with timed quests is that the only way to end a time quest is to end the game, whether you have victory or loss. That when that timer finishes going off, it ends. So we've got 2 different quests in here that are timer based. So we'll do the first one that's really short and easy, and then we'll have to restart the game to show you the rest of the quests. So if we go and talk to this guy, he tells us that if you want to try the timer objective, go on the stone floor to the right in front of you, but warning, once it'll be launched, and he talks really fast. But warning, once it'll be launched, you'll have to be fast enough to reach the blue line in time without being killed. So basically we have to get to the end and touch that mushroom. So us stepping on the stone starts the quest. We can see there's an objective up in the corner saying that the quest is starting. Gate opens, and then we have to run down to the end and push before the timer runs out. And you can see that there's all these other objectives for the potential quests, and we beat that one. So in future versions, maybe in 0.3, there will be some more tweaks to the way the timing objectives work, so you'll be able to do multiples of those. It won't just declare whether you won or lost the game. So we can go back to the edit screen and restart, and now we can do the rest of the quests all in one run. So if we talk to this lady here, she says, choose which type of counter you want to try. Death counter or collect counter. So we'll collect. So we've got to find and gather 5 mushrooms. We can now just run over things, and it will tell us that we've collected them. They give a nice little particle animations. And it now shows that we've completed the quest, and we can hit the enter key to clear the message, and that all fades away. Yeah, I do like the reminders up in the corner. It's nice to have those objectives. I'm sure that as things move on, we'll probably be able to tweak the way those things look and stuff. Right now, there's kind of just a default way they're set up. I believe there is a way to make them more persistent on the side, but the way they're set up right now, they clear when we hit enter when we're done with them. So we can talk to her again, and we can do the death counter. And now we've got some skeletons in there that just spawned, and you get to see the new combat. So he noticed us. You saw that little alert pop up. He is now chasing us. And he's alert also. So we can roll out of the way of attacks. And we can try to keep our health up. Ooh. I believe that our health comes back a little bit. Yeah. So kind of we slowly heal. All right. So we got rid of the 2 skeletons, and we can validate that. So that clears. We've beat those 2 quests. The middleman says, can you show map size for the basic plot? Well, you can do different map sizes. So this is a game maker. So you make your own plot. You make your own game. We've already got hundreds of people. Oh, that block damages us. And it actually doesn't look like we have auto heal on. I know that in this big building here, there's some healers that will help us out. So this is the size of one land, which it doesn't look like much, but you can fill up a lot. So if we look down, you can see down to the bottom of the map there, and then this map goes up really high. So this length here of these blocks is 96 meters, and then we've got 128 meters top to bottom. So in this space, you can have mountains and caves, or you could build skyscrapers. You've got a lot of vertical space to work with. You could, if you thought about it carefully enough, you could probably make in a single land size like this a game that would take you an hour or more to beat, just out of your ideas for how people would progress through the level, whether they have to find keys to open doors, go through platforming and combat, story-based stuff, there's a lot of space to work with. Now we've got lands, the biggest ones. Are there 24 by 24, or does it just go up to 12 by 12? I don't remember. So somebody in the chat probably remembers what the biggest lands are. So you think about if you can spend, more than an hour in a level like this. I mean, this is not a complicated level. This is a demonstration of the mechanics. But a level this size, then you've got 12 by 12. That's 144 lands this size. Plus, with that amount of space, you could make things a lot more complicated and a lot longer. So theoretically, you could, make your own 100, 200 hour game if you had a 12 by 12 land. So that's a lot of space to work with. And then we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, I mean, literally thousands of land available. And you've got 1,000 people already, ready to start making stuff in this game. So there is a 24 by 24. I thought there's not a lot of them. There's only a few. So there is going to be a lot of content. I don't think people, I mean, you could try to play every game that everybody will ever make, but it's going to be difficult to keep up with the amount of games that people are going to make for this. So now we've got a question objective. So we talk to her. There you'll have to reach the, I don't know why that's blank, and find the right answer. If you choose the wrong answer, you'll lose. Before it said his name, like the hermit, I might have changed something there accidentally. So let's go. We open up the door. We enter the room and talk to the hermit. Now I already know what he's asking for. So we'll take a look around the room because he's going to ask us about something that's in the room. And we just kind of observe the area. And we can talk to him. It's a really loud truck passing by. So let's talk to the hermit. And he asks us to choose carefully. You only have one chance. How many lanterns are there in this room? So I don't know if any of you were paying close enough attention. I know what the answer is. But while you're thinking about that, I'm going to answer the middleman's question. He says, I'm new to this. How do you monetize people playing your games on your plot? So there's different possible ways that you could monetize. A few of the ways that you could monetize is you can have people pay to play the game. So because you can control that spawn point in your land, you can have there be some sort of gate where people would pay for entrance, almost like a theme park. So they would have to pay like for a ticket to enter. And you could make that a persistent thing. You could have it put a token in their wallet where they now they don't own a copy of the game, but they own access to the game. So you could say, if you made a big 12 by 12 really long plot game and you wanted people to pay like they would pay for a game on Steam or something, then they could pay that price and they could play through your whole game, and that could be it if you wanted. You could do an arcade style where they pay per play. I imagine, I don't know exactly what Atari's plans are for their lands, but that's something that would be totally like expected if they're doing stuff based on like Pac-Man and Centipede. Not Pac-Man. Pac-Man's Namco. Why do I keep thinking Pac-Man? Centipede and Pong. So it would be totally understandable if they want to do some sort of arcade system or a life system where you get so many plays a day, and if you want additional plays, you could pay for it. These systems are not built into the game maker yet. We're trying to get everything ready for multiplayer in 0.3, and monetization systems will come later. Another way you can monetize is something like cosmetics and microtransactions. You could run a store through your land, so that way people could buy clothes for their avatar, items, all sorts of stuff like that. So there's lots of different possible ways that you can monetize. We're trying to make it so that way creators can monetize whatever way they can think of. So we have some specific ideas, and we're trying to unlock all the possibilities. Let me catch up on the questions here. Gato asks, can one publish a game in a land and at some point unpublish that one and publish another one in the same land? Or once published, do you have to edit that game in order to make it into a new one? That's a good question. I don't know. I would think that you could publish a new land to a space at any time, because you can sell land. You could publish and then you could sell your land off to somebody else. You could like flip the land basically. So you can make something and somebody goes, hey, I want to buy the experience that you created, and they could buy it and run it for a while, and then maybe they change their mind and they want to change the whole thing. I think that they would be able to just publish a new land to it. Because that part of the system isn't functional and up and running yet. I don't know what exactly is going to be involved in publishing the lands, but I imagine that people will be able to publish and unpublish at will. So exactly how that will work out, I'm not sure yet, but I would think it makes sense to me that you'd be able to publish and unpublish like that, and overwrite if you wanted to kind of reset a place. Remigio asks, is it possible to look around you with first-person view? Yes and no. So in previous versions, it was very simple to just set the camera to first-person view. In this version, I'm not sure if there's an easy way for me to do that. Last I tried, it was not as simple as just clicking a first-person button. There are some, they added more controls for camera work and stuff like that, so there may be some more tweaking that needs to be done to get a first-person view work the way you want it to. But it's still possible. It's just it's a little more complicated, and it should become simple again at some point, because we're still so early in the alpha design of everything. It kind of features will kind of like come and go a little bit, and kind of that they might get published and they might get pulled to be reworked a little bit, and then they'll come back later. So we'll see how that turns out. Crad Super Soldier, welcome, says, is it possible to swap avatars in real time? Right now, I tried it and it didn't work the way I expected it to, so I haven't tried it in this version yet. So we'll see. We'll experiment with that. It should be possible in the future that you'll be able to just swap avatars around. There's going to be an avatar system where you can customize your character. You'll have your base character, and you'll be able to swap off different equipments and looks and stuff like that. And then game authors can force a certain avatar if they want a specific look for the experience. So you could force the avatar to be a car if you want to do a racing game, or you could force it to be some giant monster, and you can go around like King Kong knocking over buildings or something. What about creating a casino? That is something that the developers are interested in doing. I believe that's something specifically Atari is interested in doing, is creating a casino. So that may be possible. We do have to be careful. There's specifically in the United States, there's rules about gambling and whether kids have access to them. So how exactly that is going to play out, I don't know yet. But that's something that's being considered heavily, and we'll see how that goes. So I know the answer. Does anybody know the answer? The answer is 5 lanterns in the room. So there was no real like big celebration for that, but it did work. If we had chosen the wrong answer, then basically everything in the room blows up, and we can see what that looks like later. So let's talk to this guy. He says, in less than 120 seconds, kill the skeleton captain and bring me his bones. Be careful with that orange liquid. So let's go. So that's actually why that I think it's technically red. That's why we were getting damaged out there. And so we've got to open up the lever here. And got to get past these skeletons. Whoa, no. Oh, that wasn't too bad. So the new mechanics for attacking actually make it very easy to hit multiple people at a time. So the collision is actually based on the sword. And let's get some healing going on there. And we got the key. And we can use the key to unlock that. Hi, Libelus. And you're welcome, Crad. And so that should open automatically. Did I change something? Oh, there we go. I think I went too fast past that area. So there's a cool new way that stuff works, and I'm gonna point out how important and useful that is. And we got 40 seconds left. We got time. So that's the captain. We got him. Now we've got 30 seconds to get back, and let's go. Ooh, ow. And we did it. Well played, thank you. And there, that was it. So you can see that the don't waste your time, the skeleton captain, we didn't accomplish that objective because it was a timer objective, and that's not what beat the game. If that objective completed and that timer ran out, that actually would have made us lose. Same thing up here. This objective completes when the gate opens, and then the run timer, we've got to beat the timer these timer objectives, basically, if they complete, either it advances to the next thing like this, or it ends the game. So it's a little funky, and I'm sure more will happen to make that work out. Hi, Jason. Welcome. Hi, Frodic. So let me show you real quick just what happens if we pick the wrong thing with the hermit. So we get the wrong answer, and bam. Everything in the area gets destroyed, including the walls. It's very dramatic. So, how are we doing on time? 1:30. Oh, is that? Wait, we started at 1, right? We've only been doing this 40 minutes. Oh, hi. You got peanut butter all over your face. You want to say hi?
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to say hi. This is Maggie. Say hi.
Hello.
Okay. All right. Hey, you go see mommy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will close it.
Okay, you can close it. She just wanted to pop in to say hi. So where I lost my train of thought. It's 1:38. So we actually went through that really fast, because we've got till 2:30, right? Something like that. Time flies, but it didn't fly fast enough. So we still got a lot to show. So let's break down like how this stuff is working. So you can see there's some different things going on here. When we make things invisible now, they actually leave a little ghost image. So it was kind of difficult before. If you turned the visibility of something off, you actually couldn't see it at all. You could select it and it would highlight yellow, but you wouldn't see this blue ghost image of it. So it was kind of hard to know where things were. You had to remember or do like a big group selection like that and try to get it. So that's helpful when you turn this visibility off like that. Oh, it's off on there also. So I guess you could turn it on there. Let's take a look real quick. Okay, yes. Whoa. What? How did I do that? You can... What? I didn't know you could do that. New discovery, you can dodge roll through windows. That's cool. Come on, do it again. I don't know if I could do it again. I believe in you. You can do it. You know, it's probably just because of the door. I don't... If I do it... Oh, I can still do it over there. That's fascinating. Cool. So, new discovery. So, yeah, so you can set this as invisible here, and it seems to do a better job in 0.2 of remembering when you set those things to invisible and you play the game and then you come back. So they're also set to be invisible over here. So both can apply. So, nice new thing with the asset spawner. How can we adjust or add the location where the avatar will start the game? So just by placing the avatar. So this is the avatar. You can change any... You can only have one avatar. So you can change anything to be the avatar. I could grab this gate and I could say it's going to be the avatar. And you'll see that that blue icon changed over there. And now we are... now we're a gate. I turn invisible when I do a roll. And I still make sword swinging noises even though I don't have a sword. So, can I undo? Can I step that back? We'll just tell that to be the avatar again. So when you tell something else to be the avatar, it removes the behavior from the old one. And then you can just grab it and move it wherever. So, yeah, the roll through windows, I don't think it was an intended mechanic. It might be, though. I guess it just means your collision box shrinks down when you do that. So I think that's cool if that happens. I'm all about those parkour mechanics. Once we launch the game, in order to start the mission, well, that's kind of so the way you would enter a land, if we zoom way out here. So let's say that there's other lands here on the side that belong to somebody else, and they have an exit on their west side here. So somebody exits from there, and that when somebody exits that land, they're going to pop over to your land, and this will be what you see when you come into the land. So that you can control a little bit of what that looks like right now. So if we go to our rules, we can say what the welcome camera is like. So we can say it's an avatar or world center. So right now the avatar is basically at the world center, but you can change it to world center. And so this is what they would see in that case. It's more zoomed out. There's no way to set... You can do an image welcome, but there's no option to set the image right now. So eventually you could make a screenshot of the world, and so instead of that spinning camera, you would show a specific image. You can change what the description and level name are. You can do music, which... Okay, good. I don't know why I was saying music.wave, but nothing was playing. So that's going to be how people enter your world with that first view. And then when they start playing, when they just press any key to start, they will be, in that spot that you designated. So you could put that way in the corner. You could put it in the middle. You could put it high. You could put it low. They're starting the game at the point that you designate. Sorry, I'm going back through the questions and catching up. So all the building blocks you are using are already designed by someone. All the ones in this were made by somebody else, but you can make your own blocks. So that's something that we've been doing on Saturdays in the stream. So like this jungle floor, I made this, It's not quite perfect. There's some revisions I would like to make to this, but I did kind of a pixel art leaf texture, and I don't quite like the way it looks in the corners. Doing blocks is a little bit more complicated than doing a normal pixel art tiling. So you can see it actually looks pretty good side to side here. But because it's with voxels, across the edges, all of them are the same. So if you duplicate the same side across all four, left, right, front, and back, it will kind of mess up your top edge. So you have to be careful in your design about how you set that up. So I made that. We tried doing a glass window on our Saturday stream, and it kind of worked, but it didn't work quite the way we wanted. Like it wasn't opaque enough and glowy enough. So it was a little weird. And it doesn't like erasing for some reason. I think there's something with the transparency that's a little buggy. Yeah, it just kind of like is residual there. The other thing, so I made this tan, bright blue, brown, deep pink, bright green. I made all of these for a specific demo that I was working on. But then most of the rest of these are ones that come with, I don't know what that is. All the rest of these come with the game maker. But you will have the ability to make them. So there's actually links to VoxEdit and the marketplace. So if you want to get VoxEdit, if you don't have it already, you can click that. It'll take you to the download page. You can click the marketplace to go and find more blocks that are on the market. So just like you can design and create your own assets, you can design and create your own blocks. So you can really totally customize the look of your game to be whatever you want. Gatto says, is there a way to switch animations with a message in this version? Yes, the door trick should still work. So the old idle loop is still broken, where if something said idle instead of idle 01, it still does not play correctly. There is no animated asset behavior yet. That hasn't been added back yet, but you can still set something as a door, and you can use whatever message you want to trigger a specific animation. So we say we're gonna trigger door. Let's lock this to the grid, and we're gonna duplicate it, and we're going to set it to invisible. No behavior there. Actually, we could make that the message broadcaster. Where is it? Message broadcaster. So it's saying trigger to everything in a radius. Oh, there we go. Edit logic. So broadcast target all. That by default, the broadcast radius is infinite now, so you have to watch out for that. So everyone in range is what you want. We're going to broadcast every 4 seconds, I think. I don't remember exactly how long this animation is. And this one is going to be the door. By trigger, play animation. And oh, I forgot to set the other one to be invisible. Is visible, false. And we can turn off its visibility here also, just so we remember. And snap that back over it. So the door, we're going to say, has no collision at all. No collision, so it's not changing. It'll say, the door will say collide, don't collide, collide, don't collide. So we would be able to walk through the fountain. So we're having the message broadcaster have consistent collision that just stays on, and then the door will always be off for collision. And now it should it'll take a second to do the first loop of the animation. Yeah. So I made it too long. It should probably be like 3 seconds, and it rewinds. That's kind of funny. But then collision is consistent because there's an invisible one inside of it, basically. So as long as you line up the timing of the animation to be the same length as the animation of VoxEdit, it will loop. You just have to wait that first 3 seconds or whatever the duration is for that to happen. In the future, we should get that animated asset behavior back. That will let us just play whatever animation we want. But that's kind of that's the workaround right now. The middleman asks, so will we be able to walk onto anyone's land? If they let you. So somebody could set their land to private, probably. If they're still under development and they don't want people hopping in right away. You don't have to make your land public for people to walk on or see or anything like that. You can also work, like the Game Maker is an offline editor, so you can work on this when it's not published to your land. So if you're not ready to show your game, you can work on it, you can save it, you can do whatever you need to before publishing until you feel ready for it. If you wanted to make it exclusive to certain people, I think you could grant access to specific people to join. That aspect has not been published yet. Like the ability to upload lands to the map is not finished at the moment. So exactly what options you'll have for traffic control, if you will, I don't know all the specifics on that, but we will be learning more soon. You're welcome, Liveless. Arup says, can you allow an asset like a tree to be inconsistent? I mean, you can see it and you can pass through it. Yeah, you can make, yeah, you can set the collision on anything. So, there's this beautiful stone bridge that one of our Creator Fund artists made last month. And we can set collisions to no collisions, and you can set it on a per asset ability. So which one did I set for collisions? Oh, why am I not fitting? We might need to make that a little bit wider. It worked before. Yeah. It's like it forgot that I could go up the stairs. Now it's working. Yeah, I may need to work with him on maybe making the bridge a little bit wider. I'm not sure why I was getting stuck and now I'm not. So you can see I'm walking up the steps because he made the collision box really short on those. So you can see I go up the steps. It looks better when you just run right over it. You can even roll through it. And there is collision. Oop. I want to stand on the side. There we go. And then this one, I can walk right through. So you can control the collision. It's a little scary. And even without collision, you can damage things. So by default, things have health. If you don't want them to have health, you can turn that off. I think I'm hitting the invisible one. But it doesn't have health. So right now I'm colliding with the invisible one. Ooh. I rolled right through it. But it doesn't have health turned on. So it just shows me hitting it like I'm... Like I can hit this, there's no health on it. I can just keep on whacking it. So yeah, you can control whether things have health or not. You can control whether things have collision or not. So if you wanted like a ghost that could like pass through you, because like the skeletons have collision. You can't run through them. You can't even roll through them. So they do have collision. But if you wanted a ghost that you could run through, but would still try to like attack you and you could still fight it, you could do something like that. It's important that we don't have collision on things like grass. So you can place like all these little teeny tiny grass bits, and having collision on them is really annoying. So if we do a whole bunch of plants here, just spread those out. Oh, there we go. We duplicate them and we rotate it. And then we can select all of them and we hit T and it will randomize the rotation. So that way it looks like a natural grassy field. We start the game, but these all probably by default have collision, which that doesn't like look so great or feel so great to like run on top of the grass and have to jump over it. So another cool thing, I didn't mention this before, when you group select, you can change things now. So you can change all of these to, we can turn off the plant behavior. We can set the behavior to none if we just want these as decorations. We don't need a behavior. We can take the health off of all of them so you don't accidentally hit it and damage it, which can look kind of funny if you like, you're fighting an enemy and you accidentally hit a tree and the tree has a health bar and it's kind of like, what? So you can select everything, take off the health, and then we can take off the collision. Oop, no collision. And now it feels a lot more natural to just run through the grass. Like that. Which seems totally normal. So you can do that with taller, grassy plants. You could do that with like really thin trees if you don't want the collision to like interfere with running through your map. You can also, what's very important, so like the way I use that fountain is the collision box for the other fountain, because the one fountain was going to be a door. So if I left collision on it, it would open and close the door and let me run through it one time, and then the next time it wouldn't let me run through. You could use a different object for collision than the main object. So let's say in the case of this super awesome train, another one of our artists did this past month. Let's say you wanted, this is a silly example, doesn't make any sense. Let's say you wanted the back to people to be able to walk through and the front you didn't want people to walk through. You can get a second object and you can use it as your collision box. This is another Creator Fund asset this past month. So you could set this to have no collision and set these three here. Well, if I can select them. I might need to move this out of the way first. Select these. There we go. They'll have collision, but they're going to be invisible. And then this doesn't have collision, but it is visible. We line it up. And now we can ghost through the backside like that. But we can't get through this side because there's collision here. So you can manually set what you want your collision to be. So animated assets can be animated, and compound assets can be a little complicated to get the collision exactly the way you want, because like this bridge is divided up into many parts. So you can see I'm standing on the little bumps on the railing. There's no collision like between those bumps, that like I can't stand directly on the railing. I can only stand on the bumps. So some assets will have bigger collision boxes than what you might actually want. Let's see, is there anything in here? Or I know an asset that this will work for. So so we get this other fountain here. Run back over to it. So this is made up of 2 collision boxes. So you can jump in, but you're standing on the edge here. I've used this example before. You're standing on the edge of this railing or of the fountain, and it's the same object as the bottom part here. So you can't actually stand on the lily pads or the dry part of the fountain because this is all one collision box. Same thing with the corner. You can walk right off the corner, but it's a square collision box. But you can walk up to the fountain, and if I could jump high enough, I would... Oop, I rolled right over it. We'll try that one more time. There we go. So you can stand on that. But again, it's big, so compound object collision can be kind of complicated to work with. And animated assets have one giant collision box. So if this was an animated asset, it would just be one giant hunk of collision. I wouldn't even be able to stand here. So being able to set an object as invisible with collision means that you can manually control where that collision happens pretty easily. So that opens up a lot of possibilities. The middleman says, are we able to edit maps right now if we own them? So you can. This is not on the map anywhere. This is just a file on my computer. So if you have access, if you're whitelisted for the early access game maker, you can start making maps. We can. We don't need to save any of those settings. There's no ability to publish to the map yet. So everything that you would be doing in the game maker is just saved on your computer. You can make as many as you want. If you know somebody else who has access to the game maker and you have the same version, you can even trade a file. That's actually what we did on Saturday, is we built this map here. So these are all just files on my computer, and I can make as many as I want. I don't have to publish them to play around with them or to even share them. So what we did on Saturday, if you check out our previous streams, you should be able to rewatch them on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. I don't know if Periscope, I think you're on Periscope. I don't know if Periscope does replays of previous streams. I'm not familiar with that place. And, it's not going to load the map. So this map was generated on version 0.1. So I can't actually open it right now because it's not compatible with this version of the game maker. But I'll have to look into that. So if you're working in the same version and you're working all with published assets that are on the marketplace, then you can share the file to anybody and they'll be able to open up the file and they can play your game too. So you don't even have to own land necessarily to make a game and share it with people. You can do that just by sharing the files. Hi, Damon. Welcome back. Hi, BDJ Sync. I don't think I saw you earlier. Can you allow anyone to build on your land? That is a work in progress. So multiplayer is something that they've been testing, and they've gotten multiple people in a land. As far as editing the land, I think that's something that they are working very hard on to get ready for, I think, 0.3, which would be the next version. So that is a top priority for getting multiple people building, in not just playing, but also building in the same place. That's a top priority for the development team. Jason, can I add gems to the fountain in the future? Yes. So let's talk about that for a little bit. Make sure I don't lose my voice today. So when you own an asset, you can re-mint it with new stuff. So let's take, for instance, I don't think you'll be able to do it with the base items. So things like this fountain, this comes with the game maker, and it's not a scarce object at all. I'm not sure if this is technically ever going to be minted. I think it's just you would call it a fungible token. It's not an NFT. There's no uniqueness to it. Everybody will be able to use this fountain. It does have an ID on the marketplace that lets you have it in your account, basically, but everybody has it by default with the game maker. I don't necessarily fully understand how that works on the blockchain, but basically these are common assets that everybody will have access to. And I don't mean common like the rarity. I mean like literally it's super common to own that. It's like you don't even own it. It's just free. Now this has a scarcity of 100 copies, and this is actually what the giveaway is for, if you didn't realize that already. So I've got, I think, 10 or 11 of these left that I'm giving away. And if you own one of these, and it's got this 24 defense, 28 magic, and 48 luck, this actually was minted before gems, so those numbers might be weird a little bit for the regular gem quantities. But if you own one of these, once the marketplace is fully launched, you will be able to take gems from your inventory and apply them to upgrade this fountain with more unique properties. So, as far as what you could do with defense, magic, and luck being on this, you could make this like a healer asset, like for the behavior. You can make this where is it? Did I skip it? There it is, healer. So healer uses some health and well, I guess that's for the health of itself, but it uses a healing attribute here from magic. You could probably enemy detection luck. So technically a healer is an NPC. The way we have healers set up over here, they're like an NPC that can't move. They just have no walk speed. See, its walk speed is set to 0. So this is actually an NPC that's just kind of frozen there. And different behaviors will have different results, so you'll be able to do different things with them. But basically, the point is, let's say a better example would be Dojira, because that's something that's going to be minted very soon that people will actually have in their wallets and be ready to use. It might take him a second to load. There he is. So Dojira, I don't know what the final gem's going to be when he actually gets minted. We're looking into doing that very soon here. But the people who own this, because they got the toy, they will be able to remint their specific copy with more gems. So let's say you wanted to add more speed to let your character run faster through your game. You can remint him and add speed gems to it. Gems are not something that you're going to be able to simply just buy. They are things that you'll be able to win through gameplay experiences and find around the map. And you might be able to trade them with people, but there's not going to be a marketplace specifically for gems, so they're going to be a lot harder to find. The value of gems really comes in the initial minting of a new asset, because whatever number of copies you make, if you make 100 of something, then you only need the one gem to apply that property to all 100 of them. If you own one, if you didn't do the original minting and you bought or traded for one of these and you want to add those properties with that gem only, you get the one use to add that property to that one specific asset. So gems are much more valuable in the initial minting, that you get a lot more bang for your buck is the term. So I don't want to say it's wasteful, because it might be really valuable to you. It's just something you'll have to consider very carefully. Like, do I want to use this gem to power up a whole new asset that has a whole bunch of copies, or do I want to use it on this one specific asset to upgrade it to, legendary status or whatever? So it makes a big difference in that decision about whether you want to do that or not. Yes, Gatto. Being able to change things like that is so much better. Another good thing, and I was going to mention this earlier, and then we got sidetracked. On the spawners, now you can set the behavior of the spawner. Well, you could do that before, but you can set the tags, and you can set components. So you can say you want a health component, and you can set your collision plus gravity. So that brimstone demo that I did a while ago, where I had meteors falling from the sky, I had to manually click on all like the several hundred meteorites that I was dropping, but now you can just spawn them, and it's so much more simple. Let's see. Where'd spawner go? Asset spawner. So let's we'll have it spawn boulders. And they don't have to have a behavior, but they will have a component. Or no, I don't need a component, just a collision plus gravity. And a 1 second delay. Oop, somebody doesn't want to go down for the nap. Behavior tag, spawn delay, message required, no message required, and that should be it. So that should just start spawning boulders from the sky. Whoop. Oh, they're spawning on the ceiling? I think I put it too high. Where did I put it? They didn't really seem to spawn that high. That should be fine. Maybe I need more of an offset. Oh, because this has collision. They're spawning inside of it. So if I turn off collision for this, they'll just fall straight down. They were spawning inside their spawner. Yeah, there we go. Now they just fall. And they stack. There we go. That's better. So if I if I added like a small object for them to collide with as they fall, then you'd have more of like a variation in the way that they go, like make something that moves back and forth a little bit and kind of shakes it up. So that way they don't stack perfectly on top of each other like that until they topple over. So that's fun. Do you have to buy other people's creations? So yes and no. It depends on what you want to do with it, the middleman. So if you want to just test out assets, you can. I can go to the marketplace right now, and I can add every object from the marketplace to my inventory, and I could play with them in the game maker, and I could play the game that I made, and I could share that to somebody else, and as long as they have also added those objects to their inventory, they would be able to play it also. But if I want to publish it to the map, I'm going to need to own all the ownable assets. So the case of the sand fountain, there's only 100 copies of it, and anybody can go to the marketplace right now and they can add this to their inventory, and if they have access to the game maker, it will show up just like this and they can play with it. But if they want to publish it to the game app, which is not something they can do yet, but once that ability is enabled, they would need to own a copy of this to publish that game. So if you want to have your game on the metaverse map and take advantage of monetization and multiplayer and all the features that come with being on the map, you do have to own every asset that you're publishing with. And like I said, these assets, like these ladders, these boulders, and this gold and this fountain. These come with the game maker, so you have a lot of base assets that you won't have to buy. They will just be part of what you can use in the game maker to make a game without having to buy anybody's assets. Yes, the Eiffel Tower. So it says one left. That's not accurate. Somebody already bought that. If you look at the sand fountain on the game maker, it says that there's 100 left. There are not 100 left. That just means that's the number of copies there are. So I don't know how that number is going to be displayed once people can start publishing. So it might mean that it has to be like on a map that's published for that quantity to go down. But somebody did buy that Eiffel Tower. They own it. So you would have to find out who that person is to buy it from them if you wanted that Eiffel Tower. But just like I said with Sand Fountain, you can click the plus button to add it to your inventory. And if you open up the game maker, it'll show up in your library. You can place it on the map. You just would not be able to publish that game unless you bought that item, which is very expensive. Gatto says, I can see that the humanoid avatars will spawn with a sword by default. Is there a way to prevent that? There is. So the avatars that are getting the sword, they only get the sword if they conform to the template. So you might have noticed that Dojira does not spawn with the sword. Well, actually, I don't think I played with him. Or we did just this last round. So he does not spawn with the sword. You can see that his arms are very short because he uses a modified template. So we... Oh, that's... It's the wrong Dojira. Let's see. There's a couple copies of him. Dojira test 3. There we go. His name's misspelled there. We're working on that. So now he rolls. So he has all those attacks and stuff, but he does not get the sword because he does not conform to the template right now, and that's something that will possibly be fixed in a later version. So we had to make some modifications to get his short little Shiba Inu arms set up correctly. Otherwise, he didn't really look like Dojira with long, lanky human arms and long human legs. So the sword only works with the avatar template, the human NPC template. And do the skeletons get it by default? I think those skeletons, yeah, the skeletons come with the sword. So this asset is actually made with the sword on it already. But the way to disable the sword, which is on by default, you have to add the component avatar input configuration. This is a very complicated component that has a whole ton of options, as you can see. It affects your inertia, your camera offset, jump delay, camera follow, recovery time, interpolation of the idle, interpolation of climb. Like there's a whole bunch of settings here, and I haven't had time myself to learn what they all do because there's just so much going on in there. But you will notice it said sword up here. Right now it only works with sword. I tried it with there's like a spear and an axe and some other stuff that's in there. I tried a torch. So only the sword right now is hard coded to work, but if you delete that, and we'll set him as the avatar, and no sword. And I'm not sure how well combat works without the sword right now. Yeah, so it kind of like the sword is kind of like still there. So those are things that are still getting tweaked. There we go. I just find that fun. I had no idea. That was totally accidental that I realized that I could do that the first time. Let's see. Hi, Freddie. Welcome back. Remigio says it would be nice to be able to pick weapons from the ground or to switch with them what we have in hand. Yeah, so stuff like that will be possible in the future. There's a inventory system that's being worked on right now, or not inventory system, equipment system. So one of the things we're focusing this month on in the Creator Fund is we are working on some new VoxEdit templates for weapons and equipment like helmets and armor. And pretty soon we will start seeing those features appear in the 0.3 previews. We will start seeing what it looks like to have different equipments. Dantaz says, "Hi, is this a game creation engine?" Yes, it is. Welcome to the stream. I'm catching up to comments, so I might be a little bit behind. I see you said that like 15 minutes ago. So, yes, Dantez, it is a game creation system. The Sandbox is made by the same people who made the Sandbox for iOS and the Sandbox Evolution for iOS. And this is a 3D game creation tool. Yeah, we've got partners like Atari who are going to be bringing their games into the world. We'll see stuff from like Roller Coaster Tycoon, Pong, and Centipede. We've got a lot of other game companies interested and investing in us, and lots of cool, exciting stuff going on. Hi, Jayhawk511. My 16 and 14-year-old daughters are watching. We bought land last night. Can you say hi to Carly and Aubrey, please? Hi, Carly. Hi, Aubrey. You might have missed my 2-year-old daughter, Maggie, popped in earlier and waved hi to everybody. So, yes, we're very happy to have kids involved in this. Education is a big part of what the Sandbox is doing. My boss, Sebastian, he's the CEO of the Pixel game company that's making this. He last year was spending a lot of time traveling around the world trying to get this in schools and stuff. So we've got a lot of education stuff that's invested in this, and we're excited to have kids learn how to make games with this and get involved in blockchain stuff, because that seems to be a big part of the future here. Irup says, can the sword be taken and handed in game and not start with the sword already taken? Maybe. That will be something that you'll be able to do in the future. Let me see, because you gave me an idea. So there's a behavior switcher, but I believe that just turns the behavior on and off, so you could activate an already set behavior. I don't want to test it right now because it probably won't work correctly the first time I try it, so I would need to experiment with it some. That gives me an idea of you could possibly switch the avatar from one that doesn't have the sword to one that does have the sword, but I'm not sure that it would really work. You might need to do some weird transition thing with it, and it would, yeah. It will be possible in the future. It's may be possible right now. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that. Hi, Joanna. Welcome. Hey, Science Her Way is here. Our version 1.0 world's not compatible with version. So sometimes they are. I'm not in. I don't think I'm in the latest 2.0 release. I might be. There's a new download for 2.0 that's available, and I've had some 0.1 worlds work with 0.2, and I've had some not work, and I think it depends on specific things. We are trying to keep the compatibility as much as possible, but there's the disclaimer when you start up the game maker that a lot of this stuff is going to be changing, because not only are new features getting added, but old features are getting changed and updated, sometimes removed. So that can cause incompatibilities with the files. If I know you're in the Game Maker Fund, so if you've been working on a world and it becomes incompatible, you definitely want to talk with us to see if we can try to recover that world. So either, you can message me, or possibly Jet or Soul, who have talked to you before about that stuff. So if you're in the Game Maker Fund and you're working on a world and suddenly it's not working in the newest version anymore, talk with them about getting that fixed, and they will try to see what needs to be done to do that. I'm doing well, Joanna. Thank you. I hope you're doing all right too. I'm getting a little warm in here without the AC on. Are we able to set trigger zones that do an action when stepped entered? Well, welcome, Spectors. And yes, I wanted to point that out, and I didn't get to it yet. So when we were playing through the map, this gate opened automatically because there's a switch here, but we didn't. It's invisible. We couldn't see it while we were playing. And that is something new in the speaker component. So speaker is kind of like a little bit of a misnomer for this component right now. Originally, all it did was put text above the head of whatever avatar was, or not avatar, whatever NPC was saying something, or you could do like a sign or whatever. So the speaker could always detect entity, and it could detect the avatar as the targets, and that's the way it always worked. But there's something new that it can do, which it didn't do before. If we click Edit Logic, it can now send a message when it detects the avatar, and that's something new that got added in 0.2, and that makes life a lot easier for me. So what we were doing before, if we wanted to detect the avatar, what we had to do before was kind of silly. We would take an object. I'm going to use this because I already have it there, but we would use, I'll show you what we actually did. It's easier that way. Was it box? Yeah, box. We would take a wooden box like this. We'd place it on the avatar and snap it into position. And then we would go to our object hierarchy here, and we would take the wooden box and we would drag it up to the avatar, which actually I don't know where he is in this list. Where is he? Oh, he's way down there. We would drag it down to the Bazaar Merchant in this case. And now whenever we move him, that box goes with him. And that's even when you're playing the game. So we would set the box to be invisible, and we would set it to be a message broadcaster. Message broadcaster and not visible. And I accidentally set the whole merchant to be that. I meant just the box. We would set the box to be a message broadcaster, and this guy would be the avatar. And so whenever the avatar would be near something that was looking for the message that the box was saying, it would set it off. And that still has some uses. So like I did an example of a platformer game where you could jump on top of enemies and squish them, like in Super Mario Brothers. And you do need kind of the collision to be declared of a specific spot. So having the box down here, like under his feet, that way when the box touches the enemy, it will hurt them. But if you just walk next to them, it doesn't hurt them because you need it to line up with them correctly. So it's still useful for if you want collisions of specific parts of your avatar. But having this just sense that the avatar is present to open up this gate is a much simpler solution than putting a message sensor on everything and having it to work that way. It means a lot fewer objects are broadcasting and searching for messages because you can just do it by tags, because this is just looking for the avatar tag here. Message when spoken. Target tags, avatar. So you could have it open when a skeleton is near. So the skeletons have a tag on them. Or well, these ones don't, but you could put a skeleton tag on them and have them open the gate whenever a guard walks through or something. It's just, you can basically make anything a pressure plate or like a motion sensing camera, basically, with that. So it makes life a lot easier. Camilo says that improves a lot on the mechanic I'm working on. So I'm catching up on the chat, and I don't remember. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Yes, Yana, lots of cool stuff. Jam says, what's the min voxels I can use to transfer the asset to the game maker? I'm not entirely sure, Jam, what you mean by that. You mean like, do you have to have a certain number of voxels to make an object? No, you can actually make single voxels an object. I wouldn't recommend that because you wouldn't get a lot of use out of it, but you can do that if you want. I don't have it in my inventory, I don't think. No. So one of our voxel artists, he's actually kind of a famous voxel artist. He's the guy that got me into voxel art, is William Santa Cruz. You check him out on YouTube. He's got a big following. He does lots of like Nintendo fan art and voxels and stuff. And he's one of our top artists here. And he did single voxels that were like glowing, like little beads that were shining, and he put them in like a pool, and he made like basically a ball pit. So they had collisions and gravity, and you could jump in it, and they'd go flying everywhere and stuff. It was really cool. So you can do that. I wouldn't recommend doing that too much, because then you've got a lot of physics-based objects, little tiny physics-based objects that could escape and bounce all over your land and cause performance issues. So I would limit the amount of single voxel objects. Plus, we don't want to like flood the marketplace with them. That would be kind of pointless. Because if you're publishing them to the marketplace for people to buy and they're just a single voxel, either people aren't going to be interested in buying it, or anybody can do that. They're not necessarily going to buy it from you. So we do want there to be quality to the objects that we're putting in there. But if you wanted to have a specific game mechanic for that and not have it be an object that people could buy, you could publish it that way also. You don't necessarily have to mint something to have it be accessible like that. So there's different possibilities with that. Where'd you get the Shiba Inu? I made him. This is Dojira, the one with the typo. So he's not minted yet. We're hoping to mint him this week. I don't know how well you can see that on the tiny little webcam preview, but here's the physical model. So this is by Crypto Kaiju, and they're out of the UK, and they made this NFT, which is it's got a little what is this called? It's a NFC tag. He's got a little NFC tag proof of purchase thing that you can scan, and you can. I don't think. Some of them are sold out. There were different models. Some had like a gold collar instead of a red collar. Mine's a red collar. So I know the gold collar one's sold out. I'm not sure how many are left of the red collar ones, but they're limited edition. What is this made out of? I think it's PVC. It's a plastic model. And so they made those, and they had sales for them, and they were very generous and sent me one because I made the voxel version of it. So he was made using our human template, so he has all the same base animations, but we did heavily modify it so that way he could have the shorter arms and legs, because as you can see, his proportions are very different from a regular human. He's a little bit shorter. He's almost the same height. But you can see his neck is way down here. His legs and arms are shorter. And just, everything got lowered, but he's got a very tall head. We got lots of thumbs up and stuff. I said something cool. I'm not sure how close I am to. I'm 10 minutes behind on the chat. You guys are very talkative today, which is great. I love it. Science Story says, "All right, I'll have to test my world and see if it works." I wasn't too far into it, so it's not a big deal at the moment. Yeah. So, yeah, at some points it may be easier just to start over, especially with the new efficiency tools, being able to select multiple objects and change values on them. I'm pretty sure you can even set positions. Yeah, so if you wanted to, you can do like manually type in rotations and it will change them all at once. I think if you type in the positions, it changes all of them. Yeah. So now all three are lined up to the same spot. So it does make things a lot faster for editing, being able to select multiples. So now you can change position, rotation, collision, behavior, components. You can set all of that for a big group all at once. Twitch went down for Camilla. Oh no. Well, I think you already put your name in for the fountain, I think. Oh, I think well, your name's showing up. I won't say your username out loud if you don't want people associating it, but I don't see it in the giveaway. I guess you didn't join. I see other people are commenting from Twitch, so I think it's still working for other people. And wow, okay, that is a big spam message. So let's ignore that WhatsApp link there. Sorry, Bomb Jaguar, you're getting banned. Gatto, oh, you're back on Twitch. Is there a way to walk with the avatar in this version? So you can. So the walk speed, what you'll notice is this is running and this is sprinting. So there is a difference between those. You can walk, but it's you have to set the speed low. Maybe Twitch is having issues. I'm sorry, Christicles. Are your messages showing up on the screen? Because you should be able to see messages on the screen, and those aren't all from Twitch. You might notice there's a little icon that shows if it's from YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, or Periscope. I'm not sure what's going on with Twitch. Everything on my end seems to be working fine. Yeah, but as long as you can see the stuff on screen, that means that I'm getting the message and I can read it. Maybe Restream or Twitch is having an issue today, but yeah, it seems to be a Twitch related thing right now. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, for getting characters to walk, and oh, we're already past 2:30. Wow. We got to wrap things up. So if you set the run speed down, they'll do a walk. So let's set that to say 2. And we'll set the sprint speed to 6-ish. And let's see how that looks. Well, that's not so great. So maybe the walk isn't working right now. I know there's been a bunch of changes to the way the animations trigger. So let's see. Let's set this one as the avatar because they should have most of the new animations. So do avatar, and let's get rid of the interactions. And we'll set that walk speed down. Okay, so it looks like for some reason it's not using the walk anymore. I mean, I guess the sprint and the run is more exciting. It does make it more difficult to navigate through small areas, I guess, without just kind of... yeah. So, yeah, walk seems to be not as much of a thing right now. I'll ask about that and see, if that's just kind of like a temporary thing. The walk animation is still part of the template, so it's still in there. And there is kind of a weird thing with some of the characters, depending on their behavior, they use actually... They have physics on still. If you notice the NPCs walking around, they actually do the crouch walk right now, which they bend their knees down really low and they kind of wander around. If I set this person to a NPC, basic citizen, or just citizen. He's probably going to do the crouch walk if I remember correctly. Yeah, so you see he kind of crouches down and knocks people over. Yeah, they've been doing a lot of work to try to kind of synchronize things, so yeah. So, I think walk will definitely come back. It's kind of essential for it to be there. I'm just not sure exactly how that's going to play out, because normally you have walk, run, and sprint, but when you're using a mouse and a keyboard, it's kind of difficult to have multiple things like Skyrim. I don't remember if Skyrim does it, but a lot of those third-person RPGs will do a separate... You'll have the option you can turn run off. So either you always run or sometimes you walk, and then crouch and sprint are separate commands. So if you find like you're moving around too fast, you can do walk. And then if you use a controller, you know what? It does have controller, doesn't it? No, there's no controller set up yet. So if you're using a controller, it might be easier to control the throttle on your walking and running. So I'll look into that some more, and we'll see what happens. So we got to wrap this up because we went long. We're talking about all these new features. There is more stuff that I didn't talk about today, but we will try to visit that on Wednesday. And in the meantime, let's end the giveaway here. So drum roll, please. And the winner is Crad Super Soldier. Congratulations. So Crad, I already have your wallet from Creator Fun Stuff, so I will message you over the Ether transaction. And that is it for today. So keep an eye out for an announcement on the next pre-sale coming up sometime in the next month, I believe. And early next week, we should know what the new contest is for VoxEdit on the forum. Go to forum.sandbox.game. And thank you for watching.